From Delhi Metro Watch Islamabad. You are the unbeaten team. What was the turning point for the today match? What do you think about that?
I think probably being 46 for 4, I think was a pretty significant moment in the game. I think any time, obviously, you get the new ball moving, Pakistan's bowling unit's obviously really impressive. So yeah, to sort of try and dig ourselves out of that hole took a lot of doing, but I think we potentially got to a score that was defendable, but obviously the way Babar Azam and Harris are held batted didn't allow us to, I suppose, get some momentum and try and get into their middle order.
Imdad Shahzad, Channel 5. Still you hope to go in the final? Semi-final?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
I think you'd be pretty naive to expect to go through the whole tournament unbeaten. I think there's too many quality teams going around to expect to win every game, and we prepared before the tournament that we would probably lose one or two games, but for us it's all about making it to those semi-finals, and then you're only two good games away from lifting the trophy. So for us, nothing changes. We'll prepare for the next game the same way we've prepared for the last six.
Jimmy, do you feel the team may have missed the trick by not playing East Sodi today?
Look, it turned. I think we can only obviously work on what we're told leading into the game, and we probably selected the team based on the information we had. But look, I think in hindsight it's easy to say an extra spinner would have been useful, but I think with the bowlers we had, the quality we had at the bowling crease was enough to defend that total, and unfortunately it just didn't fall our way today.
Yeah, this new left arm fast bowler in Pakistan, Shaheen Shah. How difficult was it to face him when the ball was moving around?
Yeah, he's obviously a quality bowler. I think he had a really good under-19 World Cup not too long ago, and he sort of kept taking good strides in the international team. And I think it's facing him is quite similar to facing Mustafizur from Bangladesh. The way his slower ball actually bounces at you, and I think on a deck like that today, obviously suited his style of bowling well, and he put us under a lot of pressure.
Today's match is looking like an episode of toss winning. The team who has won the toss, they have lost the match. So do you think it's the role of the toss today also?
Well, the team that loses the toss wins. It's probably pretty good for us. I don't think we've had a very good record with the toss over the last couple of years, but look, I don't even tend to watch the toss, to be fair, in the morning. I prepare for doing whatever we're doing, and as an all-rounder, you're generally in the game either way. So for me, it's all about preparing the best I can in the morning and doing whatever we're doing.
There was a lot of talk about Babar Azam not having fulfilled his potential. Were you wary of him? I mean, before his coming out to the crease, were you thinking that this could have been his day?
What is the average in ODI cricket?
What is what? His,
what
yes,
is the
of course,
average?
his is very high, but as in this tournament I'm talking about. Yeah.
This tournament.
Yeah.
Look, I think in such a small sample size, you'd be naive to expect good players to score runs every game, and we know the quality they have in their batting lineup, and it's only a matter of time when you've got players of that quality before they do score runs. So we've potentially got a few guys like that in our lineup at the moment who externally have a bit of pressure on them, but internally in our team we believe in their ability, and the nature of the game is that you're going to have lean trots here and there, but it's all about the quality of the player.
Obviously, you and de Grandhomme pulled the innings around for New Zealand there. Was it tough to judge exactly when to go big? Because obviously over the last 4 overs you did really go big, but what was the chat there in terms of deciding when to really tee off?
We targeted the 43rd when we came together. I think when you look at the quality of death bowling that Pakistan have, you really want to try and avoid exposing your tail to coming out and having to start against especially reverse swing. And so we knew our death phase wouldn't be as long as it potentially would be if we had more wickets in the tank, but we still believe that with the power we have that we could still make hay in those last 7 overs, and I think we got 85 off the last 10, which I think we would have taken 5 down going in.
Jimmy, despite the fact that New Zealand lost the game, but you set 2 marks, 97 not out, the highest score at number 6 batting, and 132 is the highest partnership for the second wicket. How do you feel about it?
Something I'll probably reflect on after the tournament's finished. I think Obviously, the whole point of trying to graft out a partnership like that is to try and get yourselves in a position to win the game. And I feel like we potentially did that. We potentially had a score that was defendable, but obviously in a game where you lose, you don't take a whole lot of pleasure out of stuff like that.
Did the pitch play as you expected? You won the toss, you batted. Did it play as you expected? And generally, are the pitches in this World Cup different from the ones you've been playing on in between, before the tournament?
I don't really expect anything going to play on any pitch. I think that's all about, I suppose, being a number 6 batsman is your adaptability, and I think the beauty of it is that you do get to see 4 or 5 guys try and have a bat on it before you go out and have to do it yourself. So it obviously looked pretty difficult for the guys at the top of the order. So for me, it was all about trying to obviously generate a partnership, trying to absorb some of that pressure, and then get to the back end of the game where you can try and, I suppose, put that pressure back on the bowlers. And potentially the wicket was not as good as we were told it was going to be, but you just got to deal with that.
Jimmy, can you just tell us about there's a phase in that second innings where you had it under control with about 15-16 runs were scored over 5 overs, and then Colin Munro came over to bowl that 1 over, and then you had about 17 runs scored with the next 7-8 balls. Would you be able to tell us what was the thought behind that, and if that's where the game sort of ran away?
Well, I was a deep backward square leg, so I can't tell you the thinking that was going through, but obviously the wicket was slow. It was tough to time the slower bowlers, and Manners has the ability to bowl sort of knuckle balls and slower balls wicket to wicket, so I could see how that would be quite a challenging style of bowler to face. But I think the nature of having a total of that amount on the board is that you will have periods where you're building pressure, but it's a case of, is there going to be a wicket or is there going to be a release of pressure, because it's not going to go on forever. So we obviously saw a chance to get a wicket in that period. It didn't happen, but I don't know what we'd do in hindsight.
Jimmy, what do you say to Martin and Colin at the top of the order at the moment, because they do seem to be going through quite a tough patch?
I don't say anything to them. I think look, they're quality players. They both play very differently to how I play. I don't really have a whole lot of knowledge when it comes to opening the batting. I've done it very rarely. So I think they're quality players. Guys go through lean trots. It's the nature of the game. And I think we'll have a lot of, I suppose, time to work hard preparing for the next game. And we'll prepare the same way we do for every other game. And we're basically in a situation now where it's 1 win from 2. And we'll be in the semi-finals, which is obviously our goal at the start of the tournament.
Jimmy, I know you've said that you would rather score a 5 in a winning cause than 90 in a losing cause. But just on this innings, the length of the innings, you batted through almost through the innings, saw the team through the crisis, and gave yourself a total that you could fight with. That must be pleasing.
I'm pretty tired now. That's my sort of emotions at the moment, I think. Obviously I suppose there's external noise about whether you have the ability to guide an innings like that, and I sort of have belief in my own ability that I have the ability to come out at 40 for 4 and guide a team to 200 plus, and also the ability to come out at 310 for 3 with 2 overs to go. So it's just about putting it out there, I suppose, and having belief in your own processes. And obviously we had a large period of time where we had to soak up pressure. That was the nature of the wicket and the nature of the bowling attack, but we certainly had belief that we could get through that hard period, then we'd be able to score some runs at the back end, which is what ended up happening.
Jimmy, just next match, obviously a big derby against Australia. How do you go about shaking this off and preparing for Mitchell, Stark and company's team in at Lords?
The mood in the dressing room is good. The guys were joking and laughing when I left. We're not the type of team that takes losses really hard. I think we'll have a couple of beers tonight as a team and kind of talk about how that game went, and then we'll pretty much park it and we'll hit our scouting tomorrow morning pretty fresh. And Australia are a team that we've played a lot of over the last 2 or 3 years. We know how they go about the game. They're obviously a very good team, but we certainly won't prepare any differently for them as we would any other game.
Jim, you've got a nice easy run in against Australia and England. Would it be fair to say that you're in a better position than England at the moment to qualify for the semi-finals? Would you rather be in your position than theirs?
Well, we have more points. I think that's probably what you want in a league scenario. I think, like as I mentioned before, we don't spend any time paying any attention to how other teams are going or how they prepare. I think for us, it's all about looking after our own backyard, and we've obviously been playing really good cricket over the tournament so far. Today was a bit of a blip, but that certainly won't change the way we prepare for the last two games.
Thanks very much. Cheers.